All right, everybody, welcome to Lockpod, Season 14, Episode 20, Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast, coming to you live from the NECA IBW Power in Indiana Lake County Studios.
Episode 20, welcome back.
Yes, sir. We're getting close to the season end.
We are.
Who's counting? Besides
Me.
I could use a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
John, you've been here every day, I have to say.
Impressive.
He's like Cal Ripken this season.
Well, no, last episode, you probably didn't listen. I was telling him, I said,
I listen to every episode.
I don't think you listened last
Did you listen to
episode.
last
I listen
episode?
to every episode.
Okay.
I'm going to say you didn't.
I'm a
But
Lockpod
anyway, I was saying
aficionado.
at the last, John, could you get my volume up just a little bit? My
Yeah.
ears, thank you.
Yes, sir.
At the last episode, I said, do you think Tom is really still the locomotive, or is it Vesmar at this point?
Vesmar is the locomotive this season, no doubt. You haven't even taken one off, have you?
No.
No, man.
Well, this is a tough one for me because it's ski season. So
And your Navy buddies. I mean, that's...
well, no,
You
I do that
can't
trip
miss
every year.
Ski season.
Yeah, I'm a ski bum.
I have
Ski
some
bum.
pictures
Thank
of
you.
that.
I know. I did.
if you want to see the mayor in the hot tub,
yeah.
take
Tune
a look
in.
at this. Tune in right now.
Look at your phone.
Did our numbers go up or down just now?
Lots
Yeah,
of man
they're going
boobs
up.
in
Something
there.
went up.
man boobs. There's no man boobs in there. We're all like,
Yeah, everyone.
no, that's Greg Poulos, who's
Greg's been a guest on the show.
yeah, he's been a guest on the show.
When the Tampa-
him
when
and
the-
his wife are looking to open a medical clinic, a fertility clinic in the region.
Wow.
So like, I had 3 days with them to sell the city of Hammond, and
Nice.
they're looking at a building today actually
Nice.
in Hammond. And his wife, Greg's wife, is a famous doctor. She's a fertility doctor. Famous. She was on Oprah. She's the face of fertility across the country, and they're looking seriously at opening a Hammond clinic.
I think that's the name of the show, Face of Fertility.
Face of Fertility. The Tom McDermott, the face of fertility, makes women fertile.
How does that make you feel, Linz?
So,
Not my daughter. She's
Lindsay's
related
like,
to me.
oh, this
I
is
was
great.
I was thinking, a job opportunity.
That is a
And
great
he-
idea.
good
I never even
call.
thought about that, Linz.
My camera's not on.
Hey, babe.
Hell yeah.
Oh, shit. Can you open that? I
Oh.
thought Jill was here today for some
Hold
reason.
on, I got it. You got
Hey,
it,
Linz.
Yes.
Linz, that's a really good point, by the way. And the other guy in there, by the way, is Jason Wedlick. Jason's from Salt Lake City. He was a God, I'm gonna mess up his job on the boat. He was like a forward guy, and the forward guys always confused me because they all have his job is very technical. I want to say it's fire control. He worked on the weapon systems.
So
He's
these are
a smart
guys that you
guy.
actually served with on the Rickover.
On the Rickover, yeah. Greg worked with me in maneuvering. We were in control of the reactor. He was a reactor operator. I was an electrician. And then Jason worked up in the forward, he wasn't a nuke. He worked up forward with, IT systems.
Yeah,
But
like I mentioned, we've had Greg on before. We had him on when the hurricane was going through Tampa.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We talked to him about his destroyed house.
Can I ask you something about
Please.
this picture, Tom?
Yeah,
I'm just going to do it live.
sure.
Hell yeah. Just ask more
Did
questions.
you shave your chest?
No,
That is
He's
No, I
got
told
that
you.
Irish.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a baldy.
Like, that is wild, man.
I mean,
yeah.
is that
what,
awesome?
Jason?
Like,
Jason's
Yeah.
bald. Jason's chest is like bald.
all the
looking.
girls that I know want hairy chests.
No,
Really?
no.
Really?
Like I'm saying,
That's too bad for me.
some hair. I'm going to use
You're
my mouse
married,
here.
Dad, it's
Some
fine.
hair around
No,
here.
I mean, I want
would
to be
good.
wanted,
Look
Lindsay.
at John.
But the
like, how is
shoulders,
this-
but the shoulders, you usually people are shaving and like here.
No.
You don't have to.
But the funny thing is,
It's
we
nice.
talked about this before, and Aaron got pissed off at me. Aaron and Brett, dude, they're like hair.
I was going to say, I thought we talked about
All
this.
hair. Yeah.
I've seen
John,
Aaron's
John wants to
chest.
talk about Tom's chest again.
Yeah. No, but like, so like.
Did we?
Yes.
I mean, I
talked-
had a picture in front of me though.
It's all right.
True.
It's all right.
That's true, John.
So like, check it out in the
You
background there,
have the
guys.
exciting hot tub photo
In
in
behind
front
the
of you.
three of us
Nothing to
there,
be
you can see
embarrassed
Silver Star.
By the way, where
lift.
are you?
That's in Park City, Utah. That lift, it goes to the neighborhood that we were in, and that lift served us for 3 days. It's so wonderful. You jump on that lift, it takes you into the middle of where you need to be, and we weren't exactly close. Like, that's a cool thing about skiing is we're probably about 2 miles away from the main lift right there, but you just jump on that little janky lift right there, it gets you to the top, and then you're in Park City.
That's
so,
great.
Yeah,
There
that's
you guys are, top of the
top
mountain.
of the mountain, top of the mountain, beautiful.
You won't
2
miss
days.
Greg. Look at that.
Which
color.
one's the profile picture, Tom?
It's the next one.
This one?
Yeah.
Here you are.
Do you think that's a good profile picture?
I have no problem with that.
I look a little soft.
Oh, you look
Yeah,
like
I
you're
was
having
gonna-
fun.
That's
You do look
soft.
a little flamboyant.
Thank you.
No, he
I
looks
agree.
a little cozy.
But I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
But the problem is this: when you're taking a picture, look at where my shadow is, directly behind me.
Mhm.
Right? They're like, "Tom, look at me, look beautiful, and smile." And I take off my goggles, and the sun is.
Well, if
just
you flip it
blaring right in your
around,
face.
then the sun's in the photo.
right.
You know, this is you got to.
So
take it
when you're
this way.
taking ski photos, you're usually squinting.
Well, they did a good job of making you look beautiful.
Thank you, Linz.
You're
I like
That's
that
my
jacket.
daughter.
And by the way,
It's a nice jacket.
When-
Thank you.
when
It's-
I-
that jacket is badass because it's 2 for 1. So like you got the shell, and I got a comfy inner, and then like when it gets nice out, and then I take off the
That's his name in college.
Where did you
is
learn
the
this
comfy
trick?
inner.
the comfy inner. I heard it from.
Where did you learn
I
this
learned it
trick?
from Kevin Chandler.
yeah, those are great coats. By the way, wait, go back
Look
to
at that.
That's a great photo.
Isn't that crazy?
Looks like you're on
Dude,
fucking different planet.
I don't know how far away that is, John, but you could see forever from the top of the mountain.
If anyone's been in Park City, you'll know this view.
Dude, that is like, I don't know, 30 miles away, and you could just see like just forever. It's just amazing. We're at top of the mountain. It's 10,000 plus feet right there.
You look a little soft there too.
I look,
you look sad.
You're on top of a fucking mountain,
you look sad
dude. Like,
there.
you're like, I'm looking like I'm
You
about
don't
to ski down a
You don't
mountain.
have the excuse of looking into the sun here.
But I mean,
You
look
just look a little sad.
and look how good. Look how good. Jason looks.
I know. I don't take good pictures. I don't know what to say.
By the way,
especially
on this
ski
photo,
pictures.
by the way, when
Yeah.
I see this photo, I kept looking down. I was like, I want to be on that run.
Yes. It's a great
Like,
blue.
let's go.
I'm sure that's a nice blue.
Beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
a little sloppy, but it was awesome trip. Missed you guys. Great show. Thanks for the cover, JRC.
Yeah, it was nice to have John on. And then, by the way, we had and we're going to get into this in a little bit, but we had a great visit from our Canadian correspondent.
I want to
Jesse
I want to
Hirsch.
be on a show with him. It's like every time you guys bring on the Canadian guy, I'm never here.
You weren't on the first time either?
No.
With him? Yes,
I'm
you
0
were.
for 2. No. Over
Wow.
2. You guys always bring in the heavy hitting Canadian guy.
We'll make sure.
When I'm out. It's like, okay, Tom's out calling the Canadians.
You look. Why are you stretching like you just got up?
I did get up, man. 6:30. Jesus. Like I wake up every day on time, and so like I never set my alarm. And then I woke up today 6:30. I'm
Maybe
like, ah!
spring
Like
it.
running around, like getting dressed.
Maybe spring
But
ahead.
he got here early today here because he pulled up when I did.
Wow.
I didn't even think about that.
Spring ahead,
you
man.
roll in when we start the credits.
No, what Kevin just said, Linz.
What?
I woke up at 6:30, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with my body? Like I wake up on time every day. And Kevin just said spring ahead. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Well, because you were traveling probably. You were out of town, and then you got back. So
I do
between
not
that and-
ever set the alarm. I haven't set. Okay, how about this?
Thank
when I
goodness
flew
you got
home
up today.
How about this, John? You ever have an airplane leave at 5 in the morning?
Ooh, that's rough, man.
Leave at 5.
I don't think
That
so.
is
5:10 a.m. flight for Chicago. That's so
wow.
I could be back
Well-
for the council meeting and for all the stuff I have to do on Mondays. So I was at work yesterday, and I skied on Sunday night in Park City, Utah. So I pulled it off, but I had to wake up at 3 a.m.
At pre-show yesterday, you seemed tired.
Dude, 3 a.m. wake up. That's no fun. That's
No,
like back in
that's
the
no
Navy
fun at
stuff.
all.
That's what I used to do in the Navy. They'd wake you up at 3:30 for your last watch. That's rough.
Hey, speaking of traveling, I thought you guys would be more sad this morning about. Have you heard of this news?
This is breaking.
Because you guys are big Southwest fans.
Yes.
I know.
Check this out.
Southwest Airlines will
yeah.
charge to check bags for the first time. Launch basic economy tickets.
This is the end of an era.
Holy.
Yeah, but they also are allowing you to pick your seat, John. Did you know that?
Not
No.
yet, though.
No, not
they've
yet.
Been doing that though.
No,
I thought.
no. You're going to be able to buy your seat on Southwest Airlines
Wow.
by the end of this year.
Like ahead of time.
So-
They won't let you book. I've been looking ahead because I have to book a ticket for November, and they won't let me book that ticket yet because they're gonna. By that time, you're gonna be picking your
And
seat.
you know what, Dad? You had like
Oh, no.
You have that master class of checking in on time so that you're always in the A group.
I don't have to anymore.
Oh,
I'm a
sorry, he's
A-list.
fancy now.
When you're A-list, you don't have to
But
check
there's
in.
a skill in it, like checking in.
24
I always
hours
thought
ahead?
it was like,
Yeah.
there was like a skill to it. It always seemed randomized. But then Dad before had like this, like as soon
Ability
as that
to-
24-hour point hit,
I have
he
this-
would like log in.
You know what it
immediately.
is? It's this magical thing on my phone called an alarm. It's
Wow.
like you just push
You
it.
just said
Maybe-
you don't use those.
Maybe you could get it slot machines.
I
You
love
know how
fucking
it's
with my
like
daughter.
all just like
Lindsay's
randomized,
like,
just
screw you,
boom,
Dad.
an alarm.
Okay, so
Did you work last night, Lynn?
No,
Oh, look at you.
It's a cool shirt. By
I was
the
still
way.
up all
What
night.
shirt?
Killers. Have
Yeah.
you seen them live?
Lindsay did.
Actually, I have
Oh,
a hilarious
We
story
are
about
all
the
over
Killers.
the place.
What's the
FYI.
hilarious story?
Oh, because I wore this shirt once. I went to the Killers concert with Marissa.
Yeah.
No way.
And
Marissa loves the
Wow,
Killers.
where?
Marissa loves the Killers
At
too,
Hard
over
Rock?
at the Hard Rock.
Every
Oh,
woman loves the
wow.
It
Killers.
was wonderful.
Thanks for
Prove me
fucking
wrong.
advertising
Yeah,
Hard
it
Rock,
was-
you two.
anyway,
Prove me
so
wrong.
I didn't know we were allowed
the
to
Killers,
go.
they have a
You got
number of.
Marissa's going.
We are
Lindsay's
not-
there.
They were at the Hard
Damn,
Rock?
dude.
We are
I
not
was
allowed
like,
to
wait
go.
a minute.
Marissa's
What?
allowed to go. Marissa's
Anyway,
a Lake County judge.
Anyway,
Wow. All
it
right.
was Mother's Day last
is
year,
great.
so. And then I come on to the show like the day afterwards.
Yes.
And Dad sees that, he's like, "Huh, the Killers.
Fucking
it sounds
Hard
like
Rock,
a
huh?
bad band. Like it sounds like a
I know who
scary
the Killers
band."
were.
I don't think you were just like
What are you
waking up
talking
or
about?
something, but you were like, "Oh, the Killers." Like
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah.
sounded scary.
Yeah. Okay.
I had no idea they were here.
Hard Rock.
in town.
I would
Yeah.
love to see the Killers.
Let's see them out of town somewhere.
Let's do it.
That's a band in a couple of years I can probably get for the fest.
That'd be awesome.
They
Colors
would be pretty
great.
good. They have so many singles, and that show was phenomenal. It was just all bangers the entire night.
Can I bring up this whole? Can I go back to Southwest real quick?
Yeah, please.
So here's my question, because one of the things I love about Southwest is the fact that the seats are roomy. Like as compared to like American or United when you get an economy seat.
You mean leg room?
Yeah, just they're regular size seats. They have room in front of you between the seats.
That's funny. I don't fly there.
Oh yeah, if you fly American United and you're in like just regular economy, it is tight.
Definitely.
Really?
Like the tray table hit my gut when I turned it down. That's how tight it is.
I'm not even gonna make a joke.
You can.
That might be a gut
I'm just
issue.
saying. I mean, that's a gut check. It's a gut check, Linz.
My gut tells me something's wrong with you.
No!
Gut check.
My gut tells me. Yeah.
But no, I'm wondering if they're going to change the size of the seats now in this whole you can have a basic economy.
They have to. They're also doing seats where you could buy.
Man.
Kevin, you're A-list. Why are you like moaning?
Yeah, I have good.
You're
news.
A-list.
I'm with John. It's the end of an era.
No,
who cares?
John, are you A-list?
Who
No,
cares?
I don't fly Southwest.
Me
you know
neither.
This.
I'm not A-list.
I
I'm
am.
pissed.
Good.
No, good news. If
I'm gonna
you're
pick my seat.
The
A-list,
bourgeoisie here.
I'm gonna be
bourgeoisie.
sitting in the emergency row for the rest of eternity now because of what Southwest is doing. This is great.
Tom's in favor.
You guys are a monster.
I am in
you're-
favor of this.
He's
And
in favor of the caste system.
no,
Listen to John.
this is good for Southwest as an airline too. Their stock is suffering. They're doing this because of the stock market, and their stock is falling, and they need to figure out how to be profitable because that's what you do in America, guys.
They're going to charge for bags. I mean, that's their thing. 2 bags fly free.
if you're A-list, they still fly free. That's
But
the
what
good
about
news.
for everybody else?
Well,
Jesus, dude, are you like you're representing America here?
Yeah.
I'm trying to help.
Democracy.
Good.
Yeah, man. I'm on
All
the
right.
traveling.
He's
the
a man of the
traveling
people.
public.
Southwest has to freaking justify their existence to the taxpayers and to the shareholders. Excuse me.
That's true.
And they need to make money, and that's what they're trying to do.
John,
so.
does the article say how much? It's like $100 a
no,
bag or something.
but it does say that last year, U.S. domestic carrier lines generated $5.5 billion with a B from bag fees.
Oh,
Yeah.
so their
getting
shareholders
on
like,
this
are you
train.
guys?
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
are idiots.
So all these shareholders are buying American and United and all this other stock, and they're like, screw Southwest. Southwest doesn't want to make money.
Well, this investment firm came in. They took a stake, got 5 board seats, and that's when
gonna
they
take
started pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, A-list only gets 1 free bag. A-list preferred gets 2.
All right. Time to
Start
make
paying
preferred.
your bags.
Hey, serious question. Okay, everybody knows. I follow the stock market, and we were talking about Southwest Airlines stock. I love the stock market. I've loved the stock market since I graduated from college, and I followed it since I graduated from college. I was a finance major, just fell in love with it. I understand it. I've made money on it. I've lost money on it, and here I am. I'm going to tell you straight up, Donald Trump's trying to crash the stock market.
He already is.
But I've never seen a president of the United States intentionally trying to lower the stock market, and I'm convinced that's what he's trying to do right now.
I heard him in an interview say, we're basically going to have a recession.
I've never heard a Fed official. I've never heard a president say that. Now, you have to understand how the stock market works. It's all about, they want to, I want to have a strong feeling that I'm going to make money. It's confidence. That's the word I was
Consumer
looking for.
confidence, right? Or
So,
confidence in the market.
If the consumers don't have confidence, the market's going to suffer. And when you hear the president of the United States say, yeah, we're going to have a recession, the natural move for you is pull your money out because you want to save that money because the president just said we're going to have a recession.
Panic sell.
So what happens when everybody starts pulling their money out? The freaking market starts getting choppy and starts dropping. And the president of the United States told us we're going to have a recession and it's going to be painful. So what's happened since then is massive volatility, stock market's dropping, and we're not even close.
And
to the
massive
pain.
volatility is always an indication of lack of confidence, right, in the market because nobody knows which way it's going. And when you have this yo-yo, and I don't mean yo-yo the president, I mean when you have this yo-yo policy, yo-yo
True
policy
story,
where your tariffs are on, tariffs are off. We're doing this with Ukraine, we're doing that with Ukraine. I mean, it's all over the place, and we're 45 days in.
See, now, I was convinced that Donald Trump and his followers were going to crash the stock market after he won, but before he took over. I was convinced that Biden was still president. I was convinced Donald Trump did not want to inherit that stock market.
Because it was so strong.
Overvalued. It was so ridiculously high. It was irrationally high. So if you inherit an irrationally high stock market on day one of your presidency, they're going to measure your presidency for the next 4 years, starting from that super high level on the S&P and on the
Overvalued.
Dow. So what I'm saying is naturally that's going to want to fall because it's completely overvalued. And now you have a president that's literally trying to make it fall. So let's take the S&P. S&P was about 6150 at its all-time high, okay? It's down to about 5550 right now, 5600. It's dropped 500 points. And then you look on social media, you look on TikTok, your Facebooks, and then you have all your stock experts out there telling you, oh, this is a major fall. This is a big deal. And I'm here to tell you guys, this is nothing. The all-time high was 6150. We're at 5600. Let's call it right now. That's 9.5% drop. 9.5% is not even a correction.
Not great, but it's not a huge
drop. A correction
yet.
Is a typical thing that happens during a recession, something called a recession, a correction. A correction is when the stock market drops 10%. We haven't even had a correction yet.
Well,
but that's the thing, Kevin. Everybody's out there talking like, "Oh my God, do you see what the stock market's doing?"
Well,
you
hear things like drop 900 points, but you got to put it in perspective that when you're at 6150, 900 points I'm sorry, that wasn't for the 900 was I think the NASDAQ. But anyway, you have to put it in perspective. When you're at 6150,
right.
Yeah, when you're at 6150, a 10% drop has to be, it's a different number.
Okay. How about this? Black Monday was in 1987. The stock market dropped 23% on that day. Okay. If you took 23% off of 6150, which is where we were, and we had a Black Monday at the all-time high of the S&P, the market would have dropped to 4,900.
Yeah, it's like, 1,400 points or something.
4,900, and we're at 5,600 right now, guys. Like this market could drop the S&P could drop another 600 points.
Well,
easily, by the way,
over
the next couple weeks, the S&P could definitely drop another 500 or 600 points.
Yeah, but it's still volatile, and you don't know which way the president's going. I think it absolutely will. I mean, I don't know how, if you're a business owner, let's say in manufacturing, or you have import or export business, how could you invest money in your business right now? Not knowing what the future is going to hold.
Are you saying publicly traded companies?
Either. I'm just saying even privately traded. If you look at the economy as a whole, is it growing or contracting?
But if you're a business owner, you don't have a choice. Like Kevin, you're a business owner. You're going to invest money in your company because that's your business.
Well, no. What if my business is exporting stuff and I might have tariffs on it, and then they're not going to export? They're not going to take as much.
Definitely.
Or manufacturers that do, are you going to invest in that line that's going to increase your production? Maybe not.
And you're a company in Mexico, and your main export is to America? Or are you going to look at opening an American company?
Or flip it around. If you're an American company and your business is overseas and now you're getting tariffed on your stuff.
Oh, yeah. One of your customers is a Canadian company?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the economy is contracting.
Yeah.
Or will.
So, Tom, you have your theory.
Yeah.
Question is why?
Why is he doing that?
Why is Trump doing this?
I think he's doing it because this is what I think. The long-term play for Donald Trump is lower interest rates. And the way to get to lower interest rates is to kill the stock market. And then the stock market
economy.
And the stock market and the economy crash right now. And then the Fed lowers interest rates. And then at the midway point of his presidency, when we have midterms, we probably are going to be in a total recession. The Republican Party will get whacked, right? And I think what Trump's hoping is by year 3 of his presidency, it's on the recovery, and then by year 4 of his presidency, when they're running again, when J.D. Vance is running for president, it's at a fully functioning, healthy economy. I think that's what they're going for. But the only way to get there in year 4 is to kill the economy right now.
And basically, you're saying he forfeits the midterms, so he loses
forfeits
the House.
The midterms, right?
Wow.
You forfeit the midterms, you lose the House, you lose the Senate, and then hopefully in year 3, all these American companies, all these foreign companies are moving back, and then the economy's strengthening, and the stock and the interest rates are low, and he looks like a hero.
That's so optimistic in the sense that, to me,
do you think that's realistic? What I said?
That's what I was just going to get to. Is that realistic? In other words, for companies to start reinvesting and relocate and stuff like that, it's it takes sometimes years. I just don't know if it's a 4-year plan. It seems to me to be more like a 8 or a 12-year plan.
But let's say Apple opened a whole bunch of plants in America, and it happened in year 2 and year 3. That is confidence in itself.
Agreed.
That in itself, just the fact that they're building a plant in Chicago, Illinois,
fair
is
point.
just a huge confidence thing for the American economy, and the stock market reacts to that, even though it hasn't opened yet.
Well, let me ask you this then. I don't get why he's been banging on the CHIPS Act.
I agree. That doesn't make sense
It's
to me. The CHIPS Act, now let's explain
awesome.
that. The CHIPS Act was passed when I was running for Senate by Todd Young, the guy I was running against, and Joe Biden.
Yeah.
They cut a deal together, and they passed the CHIPS Act, and it's been a good act. It encourages these semiconductor companies to build plants in America.
And they are.
And it's with heavy incentives, by the way. And now Trump is attacking that.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes, it's like wait,
that.
it's exactly opposite of what you're saying. Bring the companies back to America, open up, manufacture semiconductor chips, which we need, get them out of relying on Taiwan, and here we are.
Right.
It's weird.
My dad sent an article to me last night from his favorite website, Zero Hedge. But the article was about this topic. It had an interesting take on it, too, was that has the market been propped up by all this government spending?
It has.
Doge
It
cuts
has.
this stuff. Are
John.
we seeing? Yeah.
No, it goes
That
back
is
to
a
PPP.
great point. What John just said is a great point. Okay. I think part of the reason the stock market's at 6,100, and I'm not trying to be the expert here, but I think part of the reason it's at 6,100 is because we've become accustomed to cheap labor. Like these, the cheap labor making our iPhones, the cheap guacamole I get, the cheap beer I get from Canada. We've become accustomed to all this cheap stuff, and now if Trump inserts these tariffs, all the labor costs go way higher. That's going to have an effect on the stock market, man, because the stock market's going to suffer. Companies aren't going to be as profitable if they have to pay a lot more labor.
Let me add another thing in that. The flooding of the market, or the flooding of the economy, the domestic economy with money, starting with when COVID to try to save it from drowning. It was going to tank after COVID. So it was like PPP money.
Yep.
Everybody got extended unemployment benefits. Everything.
Yeah.
So everybody had more money, which means demand goes up, which means production goes up.
Companies are more profitable.
Yeah, and so everybody's more profitable. So that helped the economy go up too. And now all of a sudden,
Kevin,
we're to see contracting.
So what we're saying is these tariffs, this cut to government spending, and then to think that the stock market's going to stay at 6,100, the S&P is going to stay at 6,100 is completely naive. Part of the reason the S&P was at 6,100 is because we're getting all this cheap labor. Okay, and now all that cheap labor is going to go away because we want
cost of goods is going to go up because
cost of goods goes up.
You want to do it domestically, and guess what? Union labor is a lot more expensive than the guy sitting in Shanghai.
I was sitting in Beijing and I was watching a building being built, and we talked to the people showing us around. It was basically they were building something that was massive, bigger than the Hammond Civic Center. And I remember asking, how much does that guy make right there? There's a guy walking. He was like a carpenter,
iron workers.
And they were like basically it's like $4 a day.
Oh,
wow.
Right. And in America, that guy makes $35-40 an hour.
Yep.
So we can't compete with that. That's why it's cheap. That's why the stock market's so high. And if you think that suddenly we're going to have the cheap labor taken away and the stock market's still going to push forward, that's not going to happen. And it's going to be. And I'm not saying long term the stock market's not going to recover. I'm saying for the next year or two, get used to red. Get used to red.
And higher prices, which means a lot of pressure on people that are living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, you go to the grocery store now, I'm not kidding. It is noticeable. I'm not just talking about like eggs, right? Everyone says, eggs. I'm talking about just regular items at the grocery store. Everything is high.
Dude,
already.
The other day in Utah, we went shopping for our 4 days.
Sure.
3 days in the cabin. It was $210. The eggs were $12. I was in the mountains.
I mean,
eggs
are becoming a luxury.
Eggs. 12 eggs, $12.
I was
damn.
I was talking to a friend of ours, and he said every day he gives his. I see that you did it, man. You were able to afford that. It's a luxury. But I was talking to a friend of ours, and he said he gives an egg to his dog every day. He said it's like I can't. I don't even know if I'm going to do that anymore.
I'm the one that told
you do that. No, Billy Padula told me that.
Oh, really?
So
I do that.
Too. Okay, well now it's like a buck a day for your dog.
Yeah.
I'm going to get chickens, and then I don't have to worry about buying eggs.
You crack an egg in the bottom of their bowl with the shell and everything, and you throw dry dog food on top of it.
Teddy loved that stuff. He loved
the dogs. My dogs live forever, man. Wow. I've been doing that for years.
Billy says he poaches it a little bit before he puts it in.
I go, I just crack it in there and I put food right on top of it.
Eggshells are really good for their coat.
It's like a gourmet meal now at $12 a dozen.
I know, dude. I love my dogs.
The first thing from the first Google, dogs can eat eggs as long as they're fully cooked. Tom's like, fuck that.
My dogs live forever.
I mean, I remember eggs being 99 cents on sale, like a buck and a half or something, right?
Yeah. Well, that's like a bird flu thing, right? I mean, they're just calling all those.
Yeah.
That's
just
what's the real price of
supply
eggs?
and demand.
$4 or something?
Right.
Yeah.
It was 12 for me the other day.
I'm just saying, once it corrects itself from the bird flu.
Well, that's because they had to probably transport them up into the mountains. There's no wild chickens
for sure.
up
We
there.
were at 8,000 feet when we were shopping. All right, let's go ahead. And so basically, I guess the summary of the story is the stock market, it seems like the president's intent on doing what he thinks is the right thing, and that's definitely going to have an effect on the stock market. Is that a fair
idea?
statement?
Fair.
I think Donald Trump thinks he's doing the right thing. I think he thinks, in my opinion, Donald Trump thinks he's making the long play. I actually I think in the long run, I hope he's right, because I think I've been looking at I was always like a weak dollar person. And I think he's a weak dollar person also. And I think he'd rather have these companies move back home. And I think that's the play he's making. I hope he's right. I do. I hope America's stronger because of this.
Look,
it's going to be painful, though.
When you're playing with the macroeconomy, not the microeconomy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're dealing with macroeconomics here. To me, I guess the pain to go through to make him right, that's what I'm concerned about, because I don't think it's a 2-year play. I think it's more like a decade play.
It could be, Kevin.
And so if it is, right. There's a ton of pain to get there.
He wants to make it a one-term play, which is why he's in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be right. It could be a 10-year. Like 10 years from now, we might start seeing the benefits of what Donald Trump's doing right now. But let's make no mistake, though, for all you people out there watching your 401k, it's better just to turn that shit off. It's going to be painful. It's going to be painful for you. You know,
my wife called me yesterday and said, "We need to sell these textiles." I was like, "What are you talking?" I was like, "No, we're in it. Our game is it's the long game. Let's just stay put, and we'll see what happens when I'm 80 years old."
Tech stocks, you might be right.
I'm not getting rid of Amazon.
I know, man.
No.
Sadly, chickens are illegal in Hammond. Please change it. Chat's getting on the chicken train.
The chicken train.
That just came up somewhere.
Yeah, it was. Where was that? It was Mayor's Night Out or something like that.
It was at some meeting.
It doesn't stop people. I know, like,
it was
4
a State
people
of the City.
who have chickens.
State of the City it came up. That's right. In the State of the City, somebody wants chickens, and he was like, bird flu, price of eggs, and I'm like, every time you bring this up, people get pissed off, and there you go.
And then it came up at council last night. Like this is the next Hessville Bridge topic. I'm telling you.
Let's bring it up. I'm going to float a chicken ordinance. I'm going to float a
this happened before. It's happened before.
There you go. Name of the show.
Wasn't
Chicken Dusters.
The main reason why we kind of, because this was like a topic of discussion about 5-6 years ago, and the reason why it never really went anywhere is because we have a pretty pronounced population of foxes in Hammond.
Is that why?
Well, all I know is that I think my neighbor illegally must have had chickens because he had 4 chickens. He brought me eggs weekly.
Nice.
And then they got attacked by eagles.
And then they got attacked, and there were chicken heads in his backyard. Yes, that happened.
Because we have eagles in our area.
Yeah. And we
hawks
have foxes.
And yes. So.
All right, let's go ahead and bounce. We're going to come back. We have a Doge story that impacts us locally here, which is an interesting story.
Yeah.
And then we're going to come back in the third segment with a great guest.
Mm-hmm.
This guest is Eran Thomson, a master storyteller, writer, director, and a former advertising creative director that's got a game they want to play, and we're going to talk about some cool things. So we have a good show.
Stay tuned. Also, we're going to have a Canadian update in a minute too.
And I wanted to thank Local 142 for my cool bright shirt.
Oh, here we go. Another
another
entity that hasn't given me and
it's a messing with
John
the
and Lindsay anything.
Messing with the white balance.
I got this the other day when I signed the contract publicly with Local 142.
Love the Teamsters.
I promised him I was going to wear it on the show.
My grandfather was a member.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was a milk
142?
Yep, milk driver, for Board and Dairy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Isn't historically it's a good idea to be on the good side of the Teamsters anyway?
Good point, Lynn.
I think historically,
I never think like that, but I'm on the right side with the Teamsters, which is good. So thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate you. And this is Powering Indiana Lake County, our premier studio sponsor. Powering Indiana Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Powering Indiana Lake County, they set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana businesses and homes alike. But their mission goes beyond the job site. They're creating a brighter future for the region they proudly serve. Powering Indiana Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia. De todo corazón.
Calumet Brewing Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager around, is the second fastest growing beer in the country, and we're serious about cracking a cold one and heading for the mountains. We get excited about 30 packs in a cooler, reeling in a big fish, supporting the farming community, hunting season, and cranking up some country music. As the official beer of NASCAR and the professional bull riders, Busch Light is always cold and smooth and waiting for you. Head over to Cal Brew or the Busch Light websites and social media pages for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy a Busch Light with beers and cheers responsibly.
You know, we put our money where our mouth is here on LockPod. And Prestonmer Insurance Agency is this commercial, but he's also the insurance agency for Lockpod, right?
They
Kevin?
are. Yes, they are.
He's helping us right now with
He
our insurance
sure is.
policy.
He regretted that decision pretty quickly.
Please,
Thanks,
please,
Ron.
Ronnie. Hey,
Gotcha.
Ron. Hey, Ronnie.
Appreciate you, Ron. But that's
Sorry
so
you lost money. But
he insures only the best. He insures Lockpod and
medium
sometimes-
quality entertainment.
Sometimes that has its challenges.
Yes, it does.
Ron J. Pressemer Insurance Agency for decades has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all of your insurance needs, even policies for podcasts. So the Pressemer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Pressemer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Okay.
That's
Don't
it.
let your business get lost in the shuffle of generic branding and aimless marketing. Trust Northwest Indiana's award-winning full-service marketing agency, The Branding Room Floor. Providing data-driven results to help your business grow in a crowded market is their specialty. From website development and digital advertising to graphic design and branding, The Branding Room Floor will set your business or organization on a clear path to strategic success. Don't wait another day to get started. Visit thebrandingroomfloor.com today.
Kuklakis Law. Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Struggling with immigration paperwork? Need a visa, green card, or help with naturalization? Kuklakis Law is here to guide you every step of the way. Their attorneys have the experience to guide you through the complex processes of family immigration, humanitarian relief, and naturalization with ease. Don't face immigration challenges alone. Call Kuklakis Law at 219-671-6347 to schedule a free consultation. Hablamos Español. Thank you to our sponsors. I got to talk to Mr. Kuklakis and see how his immigration practice is going. I bet it's booming.
Yeah, we should bring him back in.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, before I forget, one of our listeners, and I mean a real big listener, in fact, he even told me yesterday he listens in the shower and just cranks the volume up.
Thanks, John.
But John
Naked.
John Bowditch dropped off these great, what do you call these, koozies yesterday. And they say, his name's spelled B-O-T-I-C-H, nice Croatian boy, but this says Boat Itch. So cool, Chicago, Illinois. It's
Nice.
Really cool koozies. Yeah, thanks, John.
He's got a big
man.
boat at the Hammond Arena, and he stopped by yesterday to say hello. So
One of Lockpod's biggest fans. We appreciate you, John.
thanks, Boat.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk a little Doge. A lot of us, Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, headed by Elon Musk, has been attacking the federal government, attacking agencies, terminating employees, sending creepy emails. And basically this, I think that since Trump's been in office, has probably been one of the biggest stories, one of the biggest
Without a
continuing
doubt.
stories.
And just like the presence of Elon Musk, an unelected, unappointed
immigrant.
Yeah. I mean, but he's not like part of any agency. It's just Trump just like, here you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to hire you as a consultant or something. And I
Yeah.
don't know if he's getting
He's
paid,
like a
but
consultant,
doesn't need
but
to
he's
get
like
paid.
the face of Doge.
Yeah.
So, a lot of us have a tendency to focus on D.C. and then when you hear about people getting, terminated from the Department of Education or terminated from USAID, we're over here in Northwest Indiana, 1,000 miles away, and we have a tendency sometimes to think this has nothing to do with us.
But it does, right? I mean, and like if you said to yourself, okay, what's the other face of government besides Donald Trump right now? Everyone would say Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
Like, could you say like, oh, let me
You wouldn't
name
say the
3
vice president.
cabinet members, right? Yeah, not even Vance, right?
I mean, okay, let's go. We got Vance. and
Rubio's
then
easy.
Rubio.
Right? Okay, name.
starts getting thin after
And
that.
Yeah.
Rubio and Elon, I think, are having problems.
Oh,
right
without a
now.
doubt.
Yeah.
They got into a dust up in the cabinet room.
I would hate Elon if I was Rubio.
Oh,
Rubio's
yeah.
worked his way up through government. He's the Secretary of State, which is an amazing position, reserved for just, you're
Yeah.
famous people have held
Without
it.
a
John
doubt.
Quincy Adams,
Without a doubt.
people like that. Marco Rubio has earned his way to that spot, whether you like him or not.
Henry Kissinger.
Henry Kissinger. And here we go. Marco Rubio's earned his way to one of the highest international spots you could hold in the world, and now Elon Musk comes popping in.
And I just think like he being a government person, right? And he's like you said, he's worked his way up. He's been in the Senate, and and you're gonna have some guy come into the cabinet room and start like lecturing you. It's like F you. I
Exactly.
think. Yeah. So
A South African, by the way.
yeah.
Like, all due respect, go fuck yourself, right? Go back.
Well, first off, we
That
love
should
our
be a show title.
immigrants.
We do love our
My
immigrants.
stepmother
But
is
fuck
an
him.
immigrant.
But fuck him.
But, yeah,
Seriously,
fuck
he
that
comes
guy.
walking in and like preaching to us. Fuck you, Elon. Go back to your
made
country.
billions and billions of dollars. He's going to tell regular Americans how they
Right.
should live their lives.
Fuck off,
Let's
man.
screw with
That
Social
guy,
Security
honestly,
and Medicare.
I was going to buy a Tesla, and I hate Teslas. I actually got into a Tesla the other day on the way to the airport, and I didn't say anything. I just sat there quietly. Like, it was a nice car, too. I
Yeah,
hated
they're
it.
nice.
I hated it. It was
They're
a Y
nice,
Model
but-
Y. It was super
yeah,
clean,
man.
flying, but I didn't say
Okay,
shit.
I hated
So,
every second of
I
that
did
really
hate it.
beautiful car.
It was a beautiful car, but I hated it.
So we were talking about how Doge sometimes, as Mayor Tom pointed out, we think of it as DC, but it just hit home. And Congressman Van pointed this out recently, and there was a lease for Army Corps of Engineers. And by the way, the Army Corps of Engineers, and the mayor will tell you this, they are active locally.
Oh my God! When we had major flooding from in Munster along our border, Army Corps of Engineers was instrumental, along with the Little Calumet River Basin Authority, in rebuilding our entire levee and saving this area from frequent floods. The Army Corps of Engineers. They're a group of engineers from the federal government. They're technically in the Army. They wear their uniforms, and they're just a bunch of engineering nerds. And they come around and they look at levees and they fix the levees so that you don't flood and shut down the highway and shut down commerce.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
And they're
You need
and they're
people like
local.
this.
And they're
You-
local.
You need little nerd, Army Corps people in your area so that they could fix your levees and prevent flooding. This is what they do.
Yeah, they have an office right next to my house.
They had an office right
Where-
next to your
where,
house.
Linz?
Doge just
It's
canceled the
behind
lease.
the USPS over on the corner of 40
That's
or
this-
Broad and 45th.
Wow.
That's this office, right?
Yeah. They're
It's
they're
canceled.
closing.
Our office.
Clan-
I buy
canceled.
there all the time.
Doge.
Yeah.
Doge just canceled.
Elon.
Elon just canceled. By the way,
Elon said, "Screw you, Griffith."
80
That's what Elon said.
$86,000 a year, so it's $370,000 in savings. They also canceled the one.
370 grand in savings. Woo!
They canceled the one in Chicago at $2.3 million. Now,
Did they really?
couple questions.
Wow.
Where are these people going to go work now? Like, where?
They're not
Oh, that's a good point.
Like, what happens?
Where do they go?
work from home.
Well,
No, you
what
can't work from
happens-
home. You got to
Yeah,
come to the
federal
office,
government.
man. You got to come in.
Well,
so
are
where
we
the hell are they
we
going?
at risk for more flooding and like
Sure,
having structural
But their
issues
army,
now?
they probably have bases.
Oh,
Go
okay.
back to the base.
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, so they
Like,
still
what, they
exist.
have
They
to-
just don't have their offices
Yes,
anymore?
they still.
Okay.
We
I
still
was
have an
a little
Army Corps
worried.
of Engineers. They just don't have a lease
I
in
live
Griffith.
right next to a
Or
river,
Chicago.
so-
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
How about this, Kevin? How do you just break a lease like that? If I was the landlord, I'd be like, "What?
Well,
like, you're breaking the lease? What the hell is that?"
What I was going to say to you, and you own commercial space. You always think to yourself, man, if I could just get a federal
Yes.
government lease.
If you
that's
get a
the
federal
best
government
lease
lease
ever.
it'll stay here for the next 30 years, right?
Not anymore.
But like, how
You're
do you
like,
just
what
break
the-
any landlord worth their salt has a lease?
Mm-hmm.
You have to sign a lease,
Yeah.
right? It says I'm going to pay for the next 5 years, next 10 years.
And like sue us in the federal court of claims.
Wow.
Hey, by the way,
That
okay,
would
here.
suck so
You know
bad.
what,
So there's real people out there that are affected
Absolutely.
by this. People that have commercial buildings that leased for a long period of time to this agency thinking that it was a good deal. And now Trump is like, screw you, buddy.
Yeah. Now think about this, Tom. Go back to what we talked about in the first
I just
segment,
hope that
right?
person that owns that building is a Trump supporter. I just hope that. I just hope that.
No.
I deep down
No.
inside, I just hope they voted. They got a Trump
No,
flag
you
in
And that
front of
they-
their
and they
house.
have a Tesla.
Oh my God, it would make me so happy if there was a Tesla and
No, it
a
wouldn't.
Trump flag. Oh my God, I'd
Wouldn't
smile.
No,
wouldn't
it
that be
wouldn't.
like Aaron? Does he have leases or is he just sell completely?
No,
No, he has
Aaron doesn't
leases.
own that building. He has leases.
Not that building.
No, Aaron.
but
No, no.
People like Aaron.
But yeah, if Aaron leased to a federal government, he'd be
Right.
in
Well,
that.
well,
Yeah,
Tom,
absolutely.
That would suck.
And Aaron is not a Trump supporter.
This is what
for
I
the
was going to
record.
say, by the way.
Maybe he is.
No.
This is what I was going to say,
Pretty
Tom.
sure he's not.
That's the other
Go
brother.
back to your original segment, right? Think about what commercial now. First of all, commercial leasing had a tough time because of the pandemic, right? They're struggling anyway.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, the federal government's saying to all these people that are,
Finally,
yeah,
getting on the
we're
other
getting
end.
commercial leases.
You're finally on the other end.
Think about how this contracts the economy,
Dude.
Like all this
That's
lease
what I'm
money.
saying.
It's
That's
like,
what I was
what
saying
is
earlier.
this?
Yeah.
But like that landlord, so now that landlord
Yes.
has no rent payments coming in.
$90,000 a year.
You still have to make the payments to the bank, by the way, and you have this open claim against the federal government that you're saying,
and you have an empty building.
Kevin, would you want to take that case? If I come in here, I'm landlord,
I'd have
I'm
to
like,
look at
dude,
the
I'm getting
lease,
screwed
but-
by the Army Corps of Engineers. Can you be my lawyer?
You have to look at the lease, but maybe you have a claim. I mean, if it's a good lease, sure, file a court of claims.
There
But
mean,
it's going to take forever.
There has to be.
Well, and you know what? That location in Griffith is not a good business location. Like, I can't imagine anybody wanting to move into
Yeah,
that
this
facility
guy's
besides
screwed.
them.
That
Well,
guy's screwed.
Taxes.
It
What
doesn't
if he
face
doesn't?
the street or anything. It's old.
So now he stops paying the taxes, goes up on tax sale. I mean, this is just one little
Yeah.
one little example of the economy.
That's just one little example.
Yeah.
And how it's going to ripple through the Griffith market. and that's going to affect people because maybe the owner of the building lives in Munster,
Sure.
and now he doesn't have that income coming in, and he's like, honey, you got to stop shopping at Whole Foods and getting that shit delivered here, right? We're going to start going to freaking,
Aldi's.
That's
right.
right.
But I go to Aldi's for the record.
I love
I do too.
Aldi's.
I'm not
Melissa
saying
loves Aldi's.
I'm not saying
So does Jana.
the office in Griffith was needed or wasn't needed. I don't know, but we all know, like, what is it? 1 trillion every 3 months or something insane. Like, something has to be done.
I agree, John.
Something has to be done.
I'm surprised that he's doing it
Yeah.
because it's not good politics what he's
Right,
doing.
right.
No, and
He's wrecking the economy, and that's not good politics.
And by the way, it's Elon Musk wrecking the economy. Okay, like
no,
even the president
no,
said.
no, it's not, Kevin.
Trump
But I
has a
completely
brain.
disagree with that.
Well,
completely disagree.
But even
with
the
that.
president said we
the
need to be using a
president's giving him
scalpel.
the authority. The
president's-
president.
I know. Yeah, I know he is.
It's not Elon Musk doing this. You can't. No, it's not. It's Donald
It's all
Trump
gonna
giving
fall
El-
on Trump,
If
but I
Donald
mean-
Trump gives Elon Musk the power to wreck
Fair.
the economy,
Okay, yeah,
it's
you're
Donald
right.
Trump.
You're right about that. But even Trump said we should be using a scalpel, not a chainsaw. But he's letting him use a chainsaw.
It doesn't matter what he says when the people that work for him are doing otherwise. I
Yeah,
could say this,
buck
Kevin,
stops with you,
as the
right?
mayor. I'm like, yes, my Hammond Police Department's professional at all times. And if they're out there completely not being professional, I'm full of shit. Like, Donald Trump could say one thing, but your words have to match your actions, and the actions taking place don't match the
That's
words,
fair.
right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
the
I
federal
just
government represents Trump and who he is as a leader. So
and if your people are doing it, it's you. I think I absolutely agree with that. So, okay, well that was that. We've got our guest coming on soon, but I do want to give a quick update and a shout out, by the way, to Jesse Hirsch, our Canadian correspondent, and
Who I've never met.
Yes, who you will meet soon. I could have sworn you were on the
I
first.
was not.
No, I believe you.
But, yeah. Thank you.
But he said, John, on Friday, didn't he? When he said by Monday we're going to know who's going to be running for who's going to be the next prime minister, and it happens to be Mark Carney, who he said was going to happen, who he said was going to be the next prime minister. And what happened is Trudeau's out, and Mark Carney took the place of Trudeau in that party. So we're going to see what happens as we move forward, because there's going to be elections in Canada.
And did you see Ontario? Is it like the governor of Ontario or
Yes.
is talking about a specific 25% tariff on electricity to Michigan, Minnesota, and New York?
Not
only.
talking about
Did.
it happened.
It happened already.
1.5 million
right on top of
customers.
your bill.
Mhm.
And then he's also like, hey, if you fuck with us, I'm just turning the switch off. Like, fuck you, right?
Yep.
mm-hmm.
I love it, man.
That's my
I do love
mom.
it. I mean, I don't love it. I don't love it. But it's like, you don't think these things through there, Donald. You know, we didn't have to go to war, economic war with our neighbor, Canada. We didn't have to do that. We just
I don't
did.
understand Canada. I don't get it.
I don't either.
Because it's not about fentanyl there. It's not at all.
No, it's just.
Yeah. It's getting
Anyway.
pissed at Trudeau or something. I don't know.
All right, we got a guest waiting, a great guest, Eran Thomson. We're super pleased to have a guest like him coming on. He's going to be funny and interesting. Looking forward to it very much. But we want to knock off one more set of ads, and when we come back, we're going to have on us live with us, Eran Thomson. So stick with us. So let's start off with Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business, Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 55 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's rogersroofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through a maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by checking out their website at mcrpartnersllc.com. And for tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at his personal cell phone. Send him pictures and gifts at 219-741-9511.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With its 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing and metal business cards, always on time and within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions using the latest innovation and technology. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
Frankie V's. No need to dress up. It's a casual place. Bring the whole family. They have plenty of space. A hidden gem in Hammond. You don't have to drive far. Delicious food, great service, and yes, a full bar. Try our homemade pizza chips, their Italian beef, sausage marinara, and more. They have delicious pizza, pasta, and Italian foods galore. Don't go where they don't remember you. It's just not the same. Come to Frankie V's, where everybody really knows your name. Visit us today at thefrankiev's.com for daily specials, full menu, and hours.
Cantrell and Cantrell Attorneys at Law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give Cantrell and Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with someone who is in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife Kristen make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you Eran Thomson. Eran Thomson is a master storyteller, writer, director, and a former advertising creative director and business founder with experience in fintech, marketing, and product invention. Living in Australia, he currently lives in Barbados. He's a cancer survivor who took on Mount Everest. He founded Law Masters Academy and comedy company, blending humor with creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Eran Thomson. Thank you for coming to the show, Eran.
That's a heck of a story
Yeah,
already.
it is. I have many questions.
Good morning, gentlemen. Tom, Kevin, thanks for having me join you.
Thank you. I love the whole setup here, by the way. Do you have the camera just follows you around and you're walking around in like a living room, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got
Wow.
Wow. You have a better setup than we do. What's going on, John?
And he's in Barbados. I mean, come on.
I love it.
He has a much better setup.
Yeah.
You have a much better setup than we do. All right. So, Eran, tell me. So, Barbados, how's that? Do you love living there?
Barbados is pretty excellent. I came down here about 4 months ago for 2 weeks to work with a new sparkling rum punch brand down here called Chorus. And after my first 2 weeks here, I realized there was a lot more that I could contribute to the business, and I've just stayed on. And we launched here about 6 weeks ago. And if you've never had a sparkling rum punch, keep your eyes peeled because we're coming to America later this year.
That's awesome.
What's the name of that?
It's called Chorus.
How do you spell that?
Corus.
Corus. All right, Chorus.
Yeah.
So you're from Australia, and now you live in Barbados. You just like bounce around, just helping businesses out and climbing mountains and surviving cancer, stuff like that.
Easy stuff.
Just that. That's right. I've been pretty lucky that I've managed to have a career that's allowed me to have some not only creative freedom but physical freedom in terms of where I operate from, especially post-COVID, people working more remotely and being more comfortable with that from leadership positions. So I'm just trying to take advantage of that as best I can.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from San Francisco, but my parents were sort of vagabond hippies who moved around quite a bit. So my accent's often quite hard to pick. And I spent I think by the time I graduated high school, I'd been to 11 schools. So that gives you a sense of how often they moved.
Moving around, yeah. No
I grew
kidding.
up in the Bay Area, actually. I grew up in Napa. So,
right on.
I love. Have you been back to San Francisco recently?
Who makes better wine, Napa or Sonoma?
I'm partial, obviously. I went to Napa High School. So.
I'm all about the Sonoma Jack Cheese Factory.
Oh yeah, that's great. So you get around a lot, obviously. What's your favorite place to visit when you're stateside?
Oh man, I mean, it's hard to beat New York City.
Really, you're a New York guy, huh?
Yeah, I love New York. I love the spontaneity. I love the kind of just randomness. One of my favorite things about New York City is it's such a quirky, weird melting pot of humanity, and it's not a single day there that you don't see something that makes you laugh. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things about it.
Amazing.
It's a busy place.
So Eran, I was reading your bio, and something really struck me, and you've climbed Mount Everest, and that to me is just one of the great challenges in life. It just interests me, but I'm not a big sleeping outside in the cold guy, so that's probably not going to work for me. But how long did that take you? I mean, is that the most amazing accomplishment you've ever had?
Well, first, let me be clear. In my bio, it says that I was beaten by Mount Everest. So I'm not claiming to be in the Summit Club. I'm not. I was fortunate enough, as part of my cancer experience, to be invited on a trek to base camp by an organization called Everest Rocks. The expedition was called Everest Rocks, but the organization was called Love, Hope, Strength. And Love, Hope, Strength is a nonprofit organization that was helping cancer survivors, specifically recruiting bone marrow donors for people with blood cancers. And their mission on this particular trek was to go to get up to base camp and raise money for a Nepalese cancer center. And the way they decided to do that was by inviting a bunch of 80s rock stars along and getting MTV to film a documentary about the whole thing, and to give it some gravitas and legitimacy. Beyond the founder, one of the key founders having cancer, they brought a few other cancer survivors along, and I was lucky enough to be chosen to be one of them. It was a remarkable experience, and the whole way up the mountain, every time we stopped, the Sherpas would break out the gear, and these guys would perform music. And
wow,
that's so crazy.
So you're up there with David Lee Roth, you and hanging out, singing Van Halen.
But we had Slim Jim from Stray Cats. Wow. We had guys from The Fix. Lead singer from Squeeze.
Oh,
that is so
man.
cool.
These are all Dad's guys.
Yeah.
All right.
And Eran, how far up is base camp? How much of a climb is that?
I should know this. I feel like it's like 13,000 meters, but I don't know.
To what? Okay, let's for us Americans out there, it's like 20,000, 25,000 feet. So, but still, and then the top of Everest is like 30,000, right?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't remember that. What is it?
I don't know. John's got Google at his fingertips.
Dad, weren't we just talking about this? Isn't it 6 miles up or 3 miles up?
It's 30,000 feet to the top. I know that. But that is an amazing story. So do me, Eran.
29,000.
29,000. Good call, Tom.
Okay,
that's
Dad.
base camp or that's the top?
No, that's the top.
peak.
Right. So Eran, you were talking about your cancer diagnosis and beating cancer. Could you talk a little bit about that as well? It's just you have an amazing story. It's hard to focus on one area. It's just
it's the story of my life, really.
Yeah.
And exhilarated by the possibility of potential. My cancer diagnosis came as a young adult, and I think one of the hardest things for people who are kind of in their 20s and 30s is one of the biggest challenges for people coping with cancer is misdiagnosis or an incorrect diagnosis, right? Because we present typically as healthy, strong, capable people in kind of our prime of our lives. And most doctors have a hard time considering cancer even as a possibility of what might be going wrong. In my case, when I was diagnosed, I was aspiring to be a professional mountain bike racer. I was racing every weekend. I was training every week. And I was getting slower and slower and slower, and I couldn't figure out why I was losing. And one day my boss came to me and said, "You look like you've lost weight. You should get checked." And the doctors were like, "Oh, you probably need to lay off the booze, get more sleep, eat better, maybe exercise less, blah, blah, blah." Nobody even considered that cancer might be a possibility. I think this is one of the biggest challenges for young people today.
How old were you, Eran, when that happened?
What's that?
How old were you when you were diagnosed?
Yeah, I was in my late 20s. And, it's not for my type of leukemia, which is chronic myelogenous leukemia. That's traditionally a disease that babies get or sometimes older people. It's very rare in people who are kind of midlife. And, I was pretty lucky that I was one of the first people in the world to get on a new type of treatment. It was the world's very first molecularly targeted therapy. So rather than chemo, which kind of goes in and tries to kill your whole body and get the cancer cells along with it, a molecularly targeted therapy goes in at a DNA level and tries to stop the translocation of genes that causes disease from happening in the first place. So there's very low side effects, very high efficacy. And I became the literal poster boy for the drug. It's called Gleevec. It's made by Novartis. Thanks, Novartis. And
that's awesome, man. That's a great
story. Let me
New Yorker magazines. You can still find pictures of me on the beach in Australia holding my sword.
Very cool. A literal poster boy. Let me ask you a question. When you talk to folks that have had a cancer diagnosis, they beat it. It always seems like once they beat it, they've kind of have a different view of life, right? And it seems like you already had a pretty aggressive lifestyle. I mean, racing mountain bikes and stuff like that. But tell me, how has your life kind of changed, or how's your outlook on life changed since you beat cancer or your cancer diagnosis?
Yeah, it's a great question. And you're right. I agree with you completely. It often can be quite transformative for people. I think for me, one of the biggest takeaways was, kind of relearning how to stay more present, live in the moment, say yes to things, and really just kind of lean in to life.
Love that.
That's the pro. I think the con of that is, for me personally anyway, was that I look back now and I kind of go, I maybe could have planned better, right? I could have invested more, I could have saved more, I could have been more strategic with my career, So there's a give and take there. And I think, I probably swung pretty far into, embracing the moment, taking advantage of life, if you will, at the same time, potentially not planning for having a long one as well as I could.
So is the pre-cancer Eran in Barbados right now, or is that the post-cancer Eran that's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to Barbados and I'm staying? I mean, is it like just personality-wise, like, or is it both?
That is a good question. So I would say it's both. The opportunity here with Chorus Sparkling Rum Punch is really exciting. I really believe in the team. I believe in the brand, and I'm an investor in it. So I feel like being here to help take it to the world and as best as I can and contributing my skills to the team is a worthwhile investment in my future. So, maybe even trying to make up for some lost time on this one.
Well, one of the things we've got is your creativity, right? And we want to get to this because it's we're moving along here. We've got this. I'm gonna grab it. Song Saga. Yeah, Song Saga.
You made a board game.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Dude, you're an amazing guy, Eran. You're an amazing guy, honestly.
His life is just side quests.
I've got it right here.
Love this.
I love it.
And we are going to play this live real quick.
We're going to play Song Saga, and I thank you for sending Lockpod 2 games of it. And we all loaded up our Song Saga cards. So basically, where could I find this? Could I get this on Amazon, stuff like that?
Yeah, you can find Song Saga on Amazon. You can buy it from us directly at song-saga.com. And it's available in America. It's available a lot of places, but I think most people will probably go to Amazon, and that's fine.
Okay. All right, we just put it in chat. All of our chat's going to go buy Song Saga game today.
So this is so let's go ahead and do one. Kevin, do you want to ask me?
Sure. Let me.
Well, here I'll read this one out. Okay. So this is for. Do you ask this of a specific person or of the whole group, Eran?
However you like.
Okay. All right. So this, okay, everybody. Song you absolutely, positively, 100% know every single word to and could sing from start to finish a cappella if your life depended on it. What's the song?
Easy.
What's the story? What is it, Lynn?
Easy. Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
What's the story behind Baby Got Back? I don't know. This is my daughter, Eran. I don't know if I want to hear this.
Isn't that your ex handle?
She likes
it is my ex handle.
She cannot deny it.
You are correct. That was what he used to go by on the internet.
All right.
It is my number one favorite song. It came out a month after I was born. I know every single word for it. I don't know why. I've always loved that
when
song.
Lindsay was born, I played Baby Got Back every day. I thought it would be good for her development.
Yeah, that was my lullaby,
It was your lullaby.
Exactly. It's ingrained in my bones.
All right, Jay-Vaz, what's yours?
So I pulled this card, and it's one word. The topic is religion. What's the song? What's the story? The song is "Lord of All Hopefulness" by the York Minster Choir sings it. But the story is crazy. It's become one of my favorite hymns. But the story is, I saw it on a movie called Saltburn. Have you guys seen this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's wonderful. It's a horrible movie.
In
I
this
love it.
scene, he's having sex with a freshly filled grave, and this song is playing. So it's unfortunate that's how I. It's unfortunate that's how I heard this song. But it is a
beautiful song.
Phenomenal song.
That's a beautiful story. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna just do a callback to a previous episode and ask: Are you having trouble getting an erection?
He does research.
Wow,
I love it. I love it.
It's a twisted movie.
I like Eran a lot. I don't know. This has been a great. Yeah. All right, Kevin, what's your song?
Well, I wanted to answer Lindsay's card.
Well, hold it. I'll tell you mine real quick.
Yes.
Okay. Mine is "Proud to Be an American." That song that Trump plays all the time. And I don't have happy recollections.
Lee Greenwood.
It's Lee Greenwood. I was in the Navy. That's the song they punished us to. Wow. Proud to be, we had to do push-ups to that song. I swear I know every word, and I hate it with a passion. And now that Trump plays it, I hate it even more. So, all right.
My song that I know this is interesting, too, because when you brought up who traveled with you to Nepal, to Everest, one of my favorite bands in high school in the 80s was Squeeze. And so, like, Up the Junction was my go-to song in high school. And when you brought that up, Squeeze, I was like, oh, my God, there it is.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So awesome.
This is cool. We just had a lot of fun in 2 minutes with this game.
Yeah.
We definitely need to actually take this home.
Actually, this would be the perfect game for my husband.
Eran, is that the purpose behind the game? Is we did one round with the card and we all laughed and bullshitted with each other for like 10
had good
minutes.
Memories
from one card, and there's hundreds of cards in there.
Well, 2 technically.
Yeah, I mean, I think my favorite thing about Song Saga is the way that it unlocks memories of moments and music that matter to people. And the way that it gets people sharing stories that you wouldn't just organically blurt out at the bar or in casual conversation. And so because of that, every time you play, you're learning new things about everyone you play with, even if you've known them your whole life. One of my favorite testimonials came from a woman who said she learned more about her husband in one night of playing Song Saga than in the 20 years they've been married.
They're divorced now, but it's
my former husband.
Aaron, you're an amazing guest, man. I tell you, how much does Song Saga cost? I'm going to buy that. I love music.
Yeah, I think retail pricing is $24.99 US, but you can probably find it cheaper on Amazon. And if you scour around, or if you buy from us, more money goes into our pocket. But
how long did it take you to make that, man?
Game and get people playing.
How long did it take you to make this game? Because it's an amazing little idea. It really is.
Thank you. Yeah. So from, I guess, the things that were percolating around in my brain were, you guys might remember 20 years ago, Steve Jobs came out with the first iPod and said, 20,000 songs in your pocket. And we all kind of went crazy. Now, all of us have all of the songs in our pocket, right? There's 60 million or so songs in the world. Every music platform has them. So whether you have Apple Music or Tidal or Spotify on your phone, you've got access to all the music. But my music library and your music library are different. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to figure out, how can we gamify that? Then at the same time, I realized that there was this sort of lack of connection happening in the world. COVID was, kind of causing us to communicate poorly, disconnect from our normal lives. And because of COVID, my ex-wife and I were spending a lot of time at home having dance parties for two and trying to buy Spotify. And ultimately, we sort of hatched a version of Song Saga that isn't what's in the box now, but where we were just kind of making a Google sheet of rules about how to be the best DJ in a two-person dance party.
So before I forget, where Song Saga you can get on Amazon, but what's the website to go to that helps your organization?
Oh, it's song-saga.com.
Song-saga.com.
And Aaron, I know you want to do something else for the viewers really right now. It's called the Yes and Challenge. Is this right?
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, so one of my side hustles is a business called PowerProv. PowerProv's been operating in the Asia Pacific region for the last 13 years. It's a corporate training business that helps teams collaborate, communicate, innovate, find self-confidence in themselves and in their team. And we use improv-based tools and techniques to help them achieve that. And a lot of people think improv, they think comedy, but really it's a set of tools and techniques that help you stay present, help you collaborate, build on each other's ideas, be present, actively listen, right? If you think about listening, we're all taught how to read, write, and speak, but no one really teaches you how to listen. Your mom might say, listen, but you don't get taught that. And so this training can really help people do that. And one of the most fundamental cornerstone aspects of improv that any improviser will tell you is this concept of yes and. And so it's about how you use those two words at the start of every sentence. So yes and can be, yes, I agree with you, and I want to add new information. And this is great for brainstorming or making people feel heard and validated and understood and building on ideas. Then there's also the other interpretation, which is, yes, I hear you, and I want to add new information. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you give up your truth. Either way, using this set of words at the start of every sentence can be really powerful and transformational. And so the challenge is for you and your listeners, if they're open to it, is to, just for the rest of today, try using the words yes and at the start of every sentence.
Yes, and I want to have you back as a guest, Aaron, okay? Because, you're a very interesting guy. I'm really honored that you came on our show.
It was awesome how you did that.
I was thinking it.
You're the locomotive.
It was wonderful.
You're back.
So come back on our show in the future. We're about to go on a break, but I tell you what, man, you should be coming in and just teching in with us if you don't mind, because we'd love to have you back.
And who knows where you'll be next time? Maybe Barbados, maybe Australia, maybe San Francisco, or who knows where.
Yeah, you got a Canadian correspondent. Maybe I can be your
would you please? Caribbean.
I
love that.
Caribbean correspondent.
Yes, like the Gulf of America.
Yeah, man.
Hey, we brought on the Canadian correspondent, and Trump went to war with Canada, so I don't know.
So be careful.
We got to be careful. Yeah.
So Eran Thomson, master storyteller, thank you for coming on Lockpod. It's been our pleasure to host you.
Mine as well. Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks,
Thank
you. What a great guest. Huh?
Yeah, it was awesome. Really cool and inspirational.
Steve Kellogg is earning his money in season 14, man. I don't know about the first 3 seasons, but
No
Season
Gavin
14.
Newsom yet, but we're working on it.
We are
John
working.
Vesmar is also, earning his keep.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
First
No
13 seasons, Steve.
Yeah.
John Vesmar, I'm going to start calling him Cal Ripken if he doesn't mind. That's a compliment.
No, I got some vacations
got
planned,
better
so I'll be out.
Yeah,
soon enough. I'll be.
Somebody has to learn how to do your job. So.
As soon as he turns it
Yeah.
off, it's like
Well, we
John's
got
out.
Chris. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for everybody listening.
Yep.
Season 14, episode 20 is in the books.
Absolutely.
We'll be back on Friday. I'm not sure if we have a guest lined up or not, but we're here. We'll be back, and we'll see you then. Thanks for listening to Lock Pod. We love you all. Take care. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks, John.
Yep.
Thanks to the audience. Thanks to our sponsors. See you guys on Friday. Take care.